What's going on, y'all? Bud Elliott here of the Nolecast, and this is the instant reaction episode. FSU 16, Duke 23. FSU loses Duke for the first time in program history, which, look, that sucks. I mean, it's not an entirely unforeseeable result, but I think if I had told you that FSU would outgain Duke 291 to 180, right? That FSU would outgain Duke 4.4 to 3.1 on a yards per play basis. If I had told you that Malik Murphy would throw for 70 yards and that Duke would need to run 35 times to reach 110 yards, I think you'd take that all day. And yet, not enough for these Noles, not enough for this Noles team in this season, unfortunately. Thank our sponsors, of course, Legendary Home Loans team. Chad does an awesome job. 844 FSU Loan, 844 FSU Loan. Matt Lewis of Congruity, congruityhr.com/Knowles, congruityhr.com/Knowles. And of course, Charlie Park. Check out the Charlie Park restaurant. Awesome rooftop spot. And yeah, man, let's get into this thing. This was pretty terrible, not gonna lie. I mean, you got Brock Glenn rolling out there. I thought made some good throws early, and then obviously some pretty some poor ones. Had a bit of a regression. We talked on the Monday show how he probably would not have a perfectly linear growth projection, right? And ultimately, that's the case. But tonight needed a little more good from him. I thought the pocket presence was particularly poor there in the second half, as it was crumbling around him some, but he was not able to escape a whole lot. He was trying to hang out there and maybe had a little too much trust in his protection, I think, if you will, maybe. So end up having a couple turnovers in a row there. In the second quarter, they pull him for Luke Kromenhoek. Kromenhoek comes in, not super effective. I mean, 3 of 7 for 19 yards. So that's really not get it done. They put Brock Glenn back in. But damn, man, if this team just cannot get something going at the same time, like it's just insane to me how they can't just string something together, right? Like Glenn makes an amazing throw, really good read, good play, and Malik Benson, who's honestly been pretty trash all year, just drops it. Like, okay, another dime down the field to Kentron, drop. Okay. Hakeem had a bad drop tonight. It just over and over again, the just boneheaded plays by some of these guys, just the killer plays that just set a drive back that kill a team. That's how you lose a game, when you only allow 180 yards. I mean, that's I can't imagine FSU has lost many games in its history in which it allowed 180 yards or fewer. That's crazy. But yet this team just shoots itself in the foot so much. And I got to give credit to the defense. For the most part, I thought played pretty well. Had some very untimely penalties, obviously. And usually after a penalty, they would also allow some kind of explosive run. So, a bit of the like defensive death spiral parlay there. But man, like most of this is on the offense. And this is Mike Norvell's offense. And this is just not going to get it done. Like you want to see Brock Glenn look a little bit better, but you got to have receivers who catch the damn ball. And at this point, I'm like, okay, this was a criticism that Miami fans had of Ron Dugans for a long time, that his receivers couldn't catch the ball. Well, are we seeing that here? Like, do we see Ron Dugans' receivers catch the ball? Because I don't really think that we do. And as receiver recruiting starts to fall apart a bit, I might be done there, to be honest. Like, that's crazy that your guys are at times getting open, they're getting hit in the hands, and they just keep dropping the ball. Like, FSU's not top 5 in drops nationally, but they're kind of in that next tier of like, what are you doing here? They're certainly one of the only real top teams, like top recruiting teams, that gets up there in those rankings, and that's just not okay. So gonna have some. Look, Mike Norvell clearly is going to be annoyed by this because he was a receiver in college, and I mean that's got to drive him absolutely insane. You saw him on the sidelines. He looks broken, man. Honestly, just looks like a guy who's just tired. I don't know. Has he lost it? Can he get it back? I don't know how you believe in that kind of stuff, right? Every year is a year unto itself. So maybe you can, maybe you can't. But I don't really know a whole lot more to say about this. I thought some of the young guys on defense played pretty well tonight, played hard. For the most part, they tackled pretty well. They got guys on the ground. I mean, Star Thomas, 88 on 21 is not too bad. The long catch of the night was 15 yards. They did a tremendous job of limiting those explosive pass plays. Obviously, you had the one long run, but that's really kind of it. I mean, 44 was the long run, by quite a lot. This was a hell of a defensive effort against what we told you guys was probably a bad offense. and yet they weren't able to turn them over, right? Duke stays turnover free on the night. You're not able to really cash in the fake punt. Duke gets 11 tackles for loss against you on 66 total plays. So again, Alex Atkins' unit just not getting it done there with some of the protection stuff. Obviously, part of that too is I think playing the young quarterbacks. They're a little skittish in the pocket at times. But I'm kind of at a loss for words of what to say after this one. It's like, shoot, okay. Did Glenn make some good throws? Yeah. Did he make some poor throws? Yeah. Did he regress a little bit in terms of how comfortable he was? Yeah. All that's kind of foreseeable. Do I foresee multiple seniors dropping balls like that? Maybe I should foresee that. I didn't really foresee that. But Florida State offense tonight, they played better in terms of like a guy getting guys open, identifying them, and delivering the ball. From that standpoint, they played better than 129 yard passing night. Right? They played better than 12 of 26. So I don't really know. Shoot, I don't know what to do with that, man. Like I'm sitting here, okay, got to do an instant reaction. Um, and then you get guys hurt at the end. I think Darius got dinged up, so that's not great. But this was a real chance to have a win. This is one of the times this year where you clearly outplayed the opponent and lost the ball game because the opponent took care of the ball better than you and just played a little bit better. Like Duke's not more athletic than you are. They just don't drop the ball as much. And like that was the key. You only have so many chances for explosive plays in this ball game, and you actually hit a couple of them. And the balls just dropped. Those drops drove me nuts tonight. I'm not gonna lie. Like that was insane. Catch the damn ball. What are we doing here? So that wasn't great. Obviously, the fumble at the end by Davis was an absolute killer. Can't have that. Hope he's okay. Toe Philly had some nice runs. Toe Philly had the one nice catch. Ja'Kai getting the leading receiver again on this team, I think says a lot. Like, it's not trying to knock Ja'Kai, just like if Ja'Kai is the best receiver on the team, then you have a real problem at receiver, which is fairly obvious that you do. Kentron 1 for 17, but also one major down the middle of the field, unable to come down with the ball that he needs to catch, I think. So 12 of 26 for 129, no touchdowns, 2 picks on the night. That's a big yikes for sure. No offensive touchdowns on the night. You had the kickoff return, obviously, by Sam Singleton. That was cool to see. But I mean, what Duke scored? What, one offensive touchdown tonight? They had the pick six and they had a bunch of field goals. That's kind of your ball game right there. To be honest, I don't really know what to say about that. I watched this. Duke found a way to scheme up some pressures against you. Clearly, I mean, if you don't get 11 tackles for loss, if you don't have that, but damn, man, like I don't know. Got a lot of people texting me just wild stuff right now. I mean, can Mike survive this? I'm legitimately starting to think not. They're going to win what, 1 or 2 more games. He seems broken. This seems broken. Yeah, I mean, you look at it on the sidelines. Mike looks like a broken man. Does that mean he can't get it back? I don't know, man. Maybe not. We'll see. Anyway, am I going to do an 8-minute instant reaction? I don't really like. I just can't believe they dropped the ball that much. This is like a ball game they should have won. The defense played pretty well. They kept leverage on the football. They covered extremely well throughout the night. I thought there were very few chances for Malik Murphy to hit wide open guys that he just missed. I mean, Florida State covered Duke well. I thought they matched routes pretty well. They took on blocks pretty well. Like the defense came out and played pretty decent football. I know it's about offense. I get it. Like Duke's offense kind of sucks. But still, like you played pretty well on defense. I was encouraged by a lot of that. I thought Cryer had some nice snaps. I thought Farmer had some nice snaps. I thought 11 had some nice snaps. But overall, I mean, the penalties hurt you a little bit, but this is mostly on the offense. I mean, if you hold the opponent to 180 yards of total offense, you need to go and win the ball game. And they did not win the ball game. And the reason, of course, is because the offense just sucked. And a lot of that, I think, is receivers. But if I'm Brock Glenn, I'm like, dude, I got pulled, and part of that's me because I made some bad passes and I fumbled. But also, how about catch the damn ball I threw to you, right? Before that, because if you catch that, we're moving, right? If you catch that, that's a touchdown. And instead, drop, and that's frustrating. So anyway, I'll probably have more on this on Monday. I don't know where we go from here. This feels like a completely lost season now. You kind of had to get this one, and you didn't. And especially the way he lost. It feels incredibly frustrating. I appreciate all y'all liking the video if you want to. I appreciate you giving us a thumbs up and obviously the download on iTunes. But I will talk to y'all Monday. Take care.